Imagine a cold Scandinavian dawn. You are alone, deep in the forest. The air is crisp, and a thick, white mist hangs low over the clearing. Everything seems peaceful, too peaceful. Suddenly, in the distance you hear music. It is faint, sweet, and incredibly beautiful. It sounds like something from your childhood, yet entirely alien. You see movement in the mist. Pale, ethereal silhouettes swirling in the grass, holding hands. They are breathtaking. One of them reaches out to you. It beckons you. You feel your legs moving on their own. It's just a moment of fun, right? Just one dance. Stop. Don't take that step. If you cross the line of the circle, that one dance will be the last thing you ever do. Because in the world of legends, there are places from which there is no return. In Sweden, they call this phenomenon Älvdans, the elf dance. When the mist rises over meadows and lakes at dusk or dawn, we simply see weather. But the ancient people of the north saw something far more terrifying. They knew that at these moments, the veil between our world and the spirit world is at its thinnest. These misty vapors are not water. They are entities, elves. But forget about the small, cheerful creatures from fairy tales. Nordic elves are powerful, capricious, and dangerous beings. They are part of the wild nature, beautiful but merciless. On misty nights, they gather in clearings to dance in endless rings. It is said their beauty is so blinding that the human eye cannot look away. But this beauty is just a lure, a trap set for the careless wanderer who has lost his way in the woods. Have you ever seen a perfect circle of mushrooms in the forest? Or a ring of darker, trampled grass where nothing else will grow? These are Elvringar, fairy rings, the traces of their nightly revelry. These are borders that must never be crossed. Local legends warn, don't urinate on the circle, don't kick the mushrooms, and above all, do not step inside. A person standing outside is safe as long as they only watch. But woe to those who are seduced by the hypnotic music. The elves are masters of illusion. Their song promises delight, love, and escape from daily troubles. They extend pale hands, they smile, they seem so welcoming. But he who enters loses control of his own body. The music takes command. He must dance, faster and faster, until his heart beats like a hammer and his feet begin to bleed. Elves do not tire, humans do. But in this circle, fatigue brings no rest. It brings death by exhaustion. However, death by exhaustion is not the worst fate you can meet. The elves' most terrifying weapon isn't magic, it is time. Inside the magic circle, time flows differently than on the outside. What feels like a few hours of merry dancing to the victim may actually last decades, or even centuries. There are many tales of bridegrooms who stepped out of their wedding for a moment to investigate strange music in the woods. They joined the dance for just one song. When they finally managed to break free and return to their village, they didn't recognize it. Their homes were ruined, covered in moss. Their wives and children had long since died of old age. No one remembered them. This is the true horror of the elf dance. The elves steal your life without killing you. They steal everyone you ever loved, leaving you alone in a strange, cold world where you no longer belong. And what happens to those who miraculously manage to escape? Legends say these unfortunates rarely live long. Once the magic of the circle fades, stolen time comes to collect its debt. A young man who spent a night with the elves might suddenly turn gray in an instant. His skin wrinkles and dries in the wind, and his body crumbles into dust, as if the weight of all those missed centuries suddenly crashed down upon him. And those who survive, physically, they lose their minds. It is said the elf music stays in their heads forever. Such a person wanders the forests with a vacant stare, unable to live among humans. He longs for that cursed dance. He longs for the very thing that destroyed him. He becomes an empty shell, living proof that some forces of nature should never be trifled with. The world is full of beauty, but remember, in old legends, beauty rarely goes hand in hand with goodness. So the next time you walk at dawn and see the mist forming strange shapes, or find a perfect ring of mushrooms in the forest, admire it, but from a distance. Turn around, cover your ears, and walk the other way. Because some invitations can only be accepted once, and it will be the last decision of your life. That is all for today on Echoes of Legends. Turn off the lights and sleep well, if you can. If you are brave enough to hear the next story, subscribe to our channel and leave a like to keep the darkness away.